Hey, this video is made possible by Mr. Fit Phnom Penh. Don't forget to go to mrfitpp.com for all of your dietary and nutrition supplement needs. And also when you add the discount code halfway10, you're going to get a 10% discount at Mr. Fit. So don't forget, it's mrfitpp.com, discount code halfway10 for your 10% discount on all of your dietary needs and vitamins. Hey, what's up guys? This is Halfway, broadcasting from around the world, Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Today guys, we're going to be talking about the recent holiday, which was the King's birthday. So the King's birthday is like a 3-day holiday after the weekend. However, this might be something that is going to be in the future maybe being lessened. Cambodia is notoriously known as a country that has some of the, if not the most holidays in the world, the most like national work-off holidays. And there's a report that starting next year, this is going to be being lessened. So maybe the King's birthday might reduce to like a 1 or 2 day holiday. But as of now, 2019, this is still a 3-day holiday plus the weekend, so it's like a 5-day weekend, which is nice. Cambodia has a ton of holidays, and I hate to see any of them go. But again, maybe some of them will be lessened, and maybe like 5 to 7 days will be taken off of the holiday calendar starting next year in 2020. So let's enjoy it while again. But anyway, so this holiday, as you guys can see from the title, we're talking about a few different things here that specifically, let me put this post up right here. It says the number of tourists rose dramatically during the King's birthday, the Ministry of Tourism said. This is due to higher incomes, better roads, and a wider offer of tourism products are encouraging more Cambodians to travel. So this article has a few purposes as I'm interpreting them. First of all, this is from the Khmer Times. I will leave the actual link to the article in the description of the video. What they're saying here essentially is local people are able to enjoy the holidays more, and this is also extrapolated just to general life. But in terms of the holidays, due to, again, higher incomes, better roads, they don't say infrastructure, but I think also infrastructure is applied here, and also a better offer of tourism products. So let's look at some of these contingencies here. We're looking, again, at the article. I'm not going to read the entire article to you here. But if we're looking at Campat, specifically, it's talking about Siem Reap and Campat. Let's look at the middle of the article here. It says Campat province on the coast saw a twofold increase in visitors compared to the same holiday last year. According to the provincial tourism department, around 104,000 people visit the province, an increase of almost 13%, and 4,400 of them are foreigners. So again, we're talking about Khmer people that are able to travel more and see more things and do more things in their own country, as well as foreigners. Here I'm going to put up an article from the CEIC. So this is an outside group. This is not a Cambodian group. This is an international thing here. And what this is alluding to is how Cambodia is rapidly developing and growing in general, and how life here is becoming more, more modern, and people are able to enjoy better things. So it says here, Cambodia's annual household income per capita reached $1,376 in December 2017, compared to about $1,200 or $1,300 in 2016. If we look at the last 10 years of Cambodia, if we look at back to 2009, the average per capita household income was $457. So we're going from $457 to almost $1,400. For those of you who don't know much about the history of Cambodia, I don't know that much about it. But in the late 70s, mid to late 70s, there was a genocide in Cambodia, and half the population was wiped out. A majority of anybody who was intellectual, anybody who had any type of skills or knowledge about things, was wiped out, which is why you find Cambodia has one of the youngest populations in the world. And from the 80s, Cambodia started to rebuild itself. And as you can see here, again, we're just pointing out, as recently as 1999, we had a income of $457 a year. That is now up to about $1,400 a year. And we're seeing every year that this is growing. And we put up here, I have a little chart I can show you. Just so you can see the dramatic growth of Cambodia in terms of its income and what is happening here. And again, this is all alluding to just the success of what Cambodia is doing and how fast it is really growing economically in this region. It's at least at pace, if not ahead of most Asian member countries. I think the Philippines is ahead of Cambodia. But again, this is a country that's coming off a genocide of, just 40 years ago, where half the population was eliminated, and everybody, essentially almost everybody who had education and knowledge of how to do things was eliminated. And the country has now completely flipped itself, and it's one of the fastest growing countries in this region, if not the world. But now we're going to look at just Phnom Penh. So what I was showing you before was all of Cambodia. So this is just Phnom Penh. This is according to EIU. Again, this is an outside agency. This is not a Cambodian statistic. This is from an outside agency. If we're just only looking at Phnom Penh, the other numbers that I was showing you were from Cambodia as a whole as a country. If you're looking at Phnom Penh, the average median household income is almost $11,000. Now these guys are comparing median income to per capita income, which isn't the best way to look at this kind of thing, but it's still showing that in Cambodia the numbers are rising, and in Phnom Penh, people are doing kind of okay. And also, if you're thinking about coming to live in Cambodia, this is just one observation as to what is the difference between Phnom Penh and the rest of the Cambodia. Again, the per capita income of Cambodia is like $1,400 a year, while in Phnom Penh, the median income is about $1,100 a year. And again, look up what is the difference between median and per capita. But still, those are very, very drastic numbers, no matter how you're looking at it. And we can also look at here, if we talk about poverty in Cambodia a little bit. So I'll put the whole thing up here. The highlighted areas are what I'm really looking at. You can pause it and read the rest of this, or just, again, go to the article. This, again, is from the Khmer Times article. It says the poverty rate in Cambodia in 2014, so this was 5 years ago, was 13.5%, compared to in 2007, which was 47.8%. So almost 50% of the people in 2007 in Cambodia were living in poverty, while now it's about 13.5%. However, we have to look at this next statistic on the bottom here, to be honest and fair, where it says that in 2009, the vast majority of families who escaped poverty did so by a small margin. Around 4.5 million people still remain near poor. I think Cambodia has, maybe 16 or 17 or 18 million people, and I think Phnom Penh is around 3 million people. So if you're looking at that as a country whole, 4.5 million people still live near the poor line, but that's still a pretty decent uptick in terms of the poverty line. And if we look at this next one here, we're talking about Cambodia as a whole, and this is from the worldbank.org. So again, another outside agency. talking about Cambodia. It says Cambodia reached middle lower income status in 2015. So we're talking about, if you look at this as a regional thing, or if you look at it as your own country, Cambodia is lower middle income as of 2015, and they're aspiring to obtain middle income status by 2030. And again, this is from the World Bank. This is not from a Cambodian website. We have one more here, and we're talking. This one's from this is the Khmer Times article, and this one. So here we're talking about one of the major players in Cambodia is China. China has a great influence here. They're doing a lot of things here. Maybe this is a very controversial subject, and I have mixed opinions about what is good or bad, and that means nothing. I'm not Cambodian. I lived here for 3 years. I'm trying to learn what's going on. So my opinion isn't really all that relevant because I'm not a specialist in this area. I'm just some guy on YouTube. But China has offered a lot of assistance to Cambodia and has done a lot of things here, and I'm probably going to have more videos about this coming up, about the good and the bad of what's going on with this. We can see here in the highlighted area, it says by the end of 2017, China's assistance has helped Cambodia to complete construction of more than 1,500 kilometers of roads, as well as 7 important bridges. So Cambodia signed on to something called the Road and Bridge Initiative. I have to go back and look that up. But basically, China is trying to make a new Silk Road, like a modern day Silk Road. And Cambodia is one of the early supporters of this initiative. And China is adding a lot of infrastructure in Cambodia. And again, this is alluding to the original premise of the article, where people are able to travel around the country much easier because roads are being put in. As you can see here, bridges. China is assisting with a port here in Cambodia, which is another topic of controversy, and I want to cover that as well as talk about it a little bit. Again, I'm not an expert in this area. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about this. If you have some opinion about China's involvement in Cambodia. But if we look at this, just take a little sidestep here, geopolitically. If you're following things in Cambodia, Cambodia has something called the Everything But Arms deal with the EU, and Cambodia can essentially ship things to the EU tariff-free. And it's been a working partnership that has been going on for quite a while, but the EU is dissatisfied with the level of democracy in Cambodia, and they're thinking about ending that deal, and they're essentially pushing Cambodia away from the West and more into the East, and China is the stronghold here in the East, as well with Russia, but directly in the East in this area. China is the major player, so the EU and the West is kind of pushing Cambodia, which is a rapidly growing country, away from the West and pushing it into the arms of the East, and again, that's China. But anyway, so this video I'm just trying to highlight some basic things that are going on here in Cambodia in terms of how the country is doing, where it came from, how it's progressing, and the major players that are involved. And I would love to hear your guys' reactions or your commentary toward what is happening here, especially if you live in Cambodia. What do you feel about the changes in Cambodia? I've heard people on both sides of the aisle. There are really good things and really bad things, maybe potentially, that are happening here. But I would like to hear all of your different opinions. So let me know. Again, this is Halfway Broadcast in the World, Phnom Penh, Cambodia. Peace, guys. Peace.